Good morning. No live today because I'm going to go to the far reaches of the garden and it just might not reach. So, just going to do a little walkthrough. Going to show you a little bit about what's happening because July is that beautiful time. We're maintaining, we're harvesting, we're dealing with bugs, and doing a little bit of planting. So, that's a little bit of what's going to happen today. But I'm going to show you a little bit of just my morning routine because our little homestead includes animals. So I open up, as you notice, we got a hot wire, and then we got our garden hot wired because raccoons like corn, not just chickens. Nasty little buzzards, I hate them. So anyway, these are the animals. I can't flip the camera when it's in this mode, which is annoying. So anyway, we have fly control because it's real, and these birds are just dying to get out. This is kind of fun. So let's see if we can do it all at the same time. They go a little nuts. They're like, what's up? They come off and they're like, what's happening? What's happening? We're leaving, we're leaving. They're going nuts. They're going crazy. We got some that are molting, so that's a whole thing. So anyway, and then the buns are doing what they're doing. Our rabbitry is a little outdated. We hung these cages on the outside, and it's really not the best for the buns. But we're going to amend that sooner than later. There's a certain style of cage that I would actually love to have, and two of our does are growing their little dewlaps, so and I've felt their little bellies. They're like, normally there's little grape-sized things you begin to feel if they actually did get pregnant. So hopefully I've got two that took, and my cute little speckled one right here. You're not a doe, are you? No, no. Little Oreo's not a doe. Little Oreo's a buck. So anyway, and then I check the nest boxes. No eggs to be had there. There's still one hen that can't be bothered. She's like, I don't want to be with the crowd. You're not going to be with the crowd. You just want to hang out in here. Are you sicky, or you just don't want to be with people? She's like, I don't have to tell you anything. So then we've got broody freaking Betty. What you got, baby? What you got? Lift up for me. So, actually, a couple of my broodies are out doing their thing. I guess they get tired of sitting in there. But I don't know. I've never raised. I'm learning about stuff as I go. Those chanticleers, I can't. They're like broody as all mess. I got some kind of weirdo bugs on my sunflowers. That's annoying. Okay, anyway. So, I'm going to take a look at the garden. So, if you have a look, you're like, wow, you've got hay everywhere. Yes, I do. And as a no-till enthusiast, one of the things that things like hay and wood chips do is they hold moisture in the ground. And I use breathable weed barrier, and so in the weed barrier, it's going to get the nutrients, it's going to get the water, and this is going to hold down that water and that moisture, which is helpful. Oh, here come the chickens. So anyway, and the other day I did something I've never done before, and I took liquid 7 and I sprayed. You dilute it and then you spray, and it has combated some of the borer beetles, and there wasn't fruit, so it's not impacting the fruit, but I do not see borer beetles right now, which is pretty fantastic. I've never used a chemical on borer beetles, but I'm so irritated with doing all the work and having those freaking things steal from me. Now my brassicas, this is a new day for me in my brassicas. I don't know about you, but this is about as big as I ever get any cabbage. This one looks better than the rest of them. And this is a new one for me. I've got broccoli and cauliflower, and it's actually bearing fruit. So, and clearly the sow bugs and slugs have gotten ahead of me on that, which I hate. It's an every year thing. And I've got chard to beat the band here. So I think up here this is cauliflower. I have to check my tag. It's gotten eaten up pretty good, whatever it is. So just the fact that that outlasted the spring, pretty amazing. I'm pretty happy with that. And then we've got the burgundy okra coming up. I got one that didn't make over here. I may replant. And then we've got that lettuce leaf basil. I've got it in a couple places, and I have to regularly harvest on that because it just goes nuts. And of course, multiple tomato varieties, some dill down in here, and that little mater is just living. These are some sweet 100s. I got a June bug over here on this tomato. One of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to come out and spotlight. You can use a black light or a red light at night, and it'll help you find them hornworms, which I'm not showing any evidence yet. They hit my peppers first for some reason. And one of my fun little things, I've got these zinnias that came in a pack. They're very bright and in your face. And then these came in a butterfly mix, but every last one of them is a type of sunflower. One's kind of the chocolate. Some are a smaller typical breed, and they're just delightful. I don't know. I enjoy just having them and pulling in the pollinators into the rest of the garden. And the zinnias, they were just doing their thing. And I love zinnias because they make me feel like I can grow things because they're so easy, like Sunday morning. This one still hasn't quite done its thing. One of my most favorite things, I grew one eggplant. Me and eggplant, I just have to grow them. I don't eat them like I grow them. I grew a lot the other year and didn't really mess with it. This is one of the most fun things for me. So this is my quinoa. As you can see right here, it's cherry vanilla is the name, and it's living up to it right here. It's getting ready. That part's almost ready for harvest. I'm going to have to do a deep dive on that. I've never grown it before. Like I said, things happened for me this year that have never happened before, so I'm having to adjust to that. And then my little corn patch and bean patch. I've got two separate kinds of beans. One's called Job's Tears, and one's called 15,000-year-old beans. They were found in a cave. And so if anybody tells you, oh, well, this seed's not from this year, well, guess what? I got some that were found in a cave 15,000 years ago. Seeds are resilient, and they will sprout whenever given the right everything. And some of them, I mean, if they're duds, they're duds. It's whatever. But I've used seeds from past years. Sometimes the germination rate is a little different, but I'm not quite seeing my pods for the beans just yet. But I've never grown these types of beans, so I'm just waiting. I do have some Blue Lake regular old beans I'm going to be growing. So I just love, for me, the beans with the corn, that's a more sustainable planting. Some of it's going to web together, and I might not be able to get it all until I harvest all of it. But is what it is. And over here, the surprise of my life are these beautiful wisps of asparagus. I just love them so much. And along with them, I have got a volunteer potato and a volunteer watermelon. And it has a little watermelon on that vine, which is amazing. I've got some other potatoes that I did plant. God only knows what that thing is. It needs to come down. My husband's like, that's the best tree we got. I'm like, I don't know. It's just in the middle of my garden. I don't like it. I don't know what it's doing here. It looks like a weed tree. I don't really know. But we got celebrity tomatoes up through there. The early girls kind of have failure to thrive because we didn't get as much water on them. Unfortunate. But Jake did this little thing here where he was twining everything out. And there's some pretty decent tomatoes happening, but this is mostly the early girl down through here. I've picked off some of the ripe ones, which part of why I grow the early girl, because I enjoy, the early. Come on, let's be real. So one other feature, I'll show you the peppers here in a minute. Let's go to the herbs. And that mint tea was on and popping. Gonna need you guys to make some. So mint always going nuts. That's what it is. And then we've got, this is bolting cilantro. I can actually harvest the seeds from this. Of course, we got dill going bonkers. I need to get some of the littles off of that because it's starting to come off. This is that amazing comfrey. It is an amazing medicinal. It pulls from the ground a big taproot full of minerals. It's good for the chickens. It's good for humans. Make poultices out of it. Its colloquial term is bone knit or knit bone. Actually used it whenever Jake had his broken shoulder. The sage is getting eaten by something. We got the rosemary, thyme, some garlic chives, and then some weeds are coming up in here. How the weeds have time to come up in here, I do not know, because there's so much happening. Normally I have to weed the mint like it's a weed because of what it does. Over here is that ornate thing that I did. The tansy did not make it, but the amaranth did. And the amaranth, I coated it. I'm normally an organic gardener, guys, but St. Clair County's changed me a little bit because the bugs are voracious here. That's a zucchini plant. These are trap crop. The zucchini plant doesn't like it over here. But as you can see, that squash, we've got some blue Hubbard over there that's like supposed to be trap crop as well. And then this is the bee balm, and it's going for a second growth. The first growth died off, and it's going back. As you can see, it's coming up. I just love this plant so much. It just keeps coming back, and it's they call it false bergamot. I don't know. It's got a lot of names, but bee balm's the main. And here's my my peppers. I've got some sweet peppers in here and hot peppers. Not advised to do that, but I did it. So, but I've got Jedis for the jalapenos because they're pretty rockin' awesome, and I have some habaneros. And I did plant some Reaper. I don't know if they're taking or not. What does that say? That's got like a, is this habanero or Reaper? Yeah, habanero. Yeah, I'm thinking that my Reaper didn't make it. That's unfortunate. But this mammoth sunflower is epic. I gotta see what's going on under this leaf though. Some kind of weird something has laid its eggs on there. Tempted to cut the leaf off, but it makes me happy to see a death of the boar beetles. Despise those flipping things. They're so bad. So anyway, that's a little tour of what's happening in my world. And I'm going to end this. And I don't know if I'll splice the videos together or I'll make them two separate ones. But I had a harvest yesterday of onions. So like I said, okay, we're maintaining what we have. Going to do some succession planting. I'm going to do some experimental planting in the greenhouse with some things that I did not get into. Like I had so much going on that I just didn't get to them. So after I remove, my planting table is full of onions that I needed a 24-hour drying period. I'm going to move them to where they're going to cure. So I'm like trying to decide the best spot for that. It'll either be like the garage or under our awning there. Probably the garage because the chickens may try to get to them if they're under the awning. So anyway, that's what's next. This is my tour. I encourage you in the comments, just drop your favorite thing that's happening in your garden. Your garden doesn't have to be perfect for you to show things. It's going to encourage people. It's going to be awesome. And so I'm going to do a little work today just to showcase what's happening, and just to give encouragement. I started with a plot that was a third this big, so I'm still getting used to growing in something that's this big. As you can see, I have massive gaps, but part of the gaps are for when I was growing viney things, and it gave it room to do its thing. So there's more to come, and succession planting going to happen. So yeah, and this is the mine and Jake's work together. We partner, we do the things, and we get her done. So love you guys, and I will see you next time.